Well, I have done a thing. I am 1 month away from opening an RV park in the hill country of Texas that I'm calling Pierce Oak. While I have made a few comments in the last few videos, I have not given you all the details. So this video is about giving you all the details on my latest venture. Let's start with an overview of the park. It is 9 acres and will have 67 slots. I could have done more, but I eliminated sites in order to save as many of the large oak trees as possible. It's in one of the prettiest parts of the Texas hill country in a town called Canyon Lake. It's just a few miles from one of the largest lakes in Texas, and also a few miles from the river I kayak all the time, which is the Guadalupe. It is right in between two major highways in Texas, I-35 and 281, and it's also right in between San Antonio and Austin. So if you're traveling around Texas and hitting the two big cities, don't forget to plan in a few days to go visit the hill country as well. The name is my favorite part. If you're curious about the name, my grandparents bought this property back when there was literally nothing around here. And while on a walk, my grandfather absent-mindedly laid a stick in the crotch of a tree and just wandered off. Of course, over the years, the tree formed around it, and when my grandfather saw it again, he named the property Pierce Oak. And I remember anytime visiting the property, we would always go wandering around looking for the Pierce Oak. Now, the tree has been protected through the entire construction process, and we'll have a plaque recalling the story for visitors to read about when they view it. I think a name can be one of the hardest things about starting a new business. So for this one to be so instantaneously decided for me, and to have such a cool backstory, and for the actual tree to still be there, ugh, I just love it all, guys. Then, of course, the logo was also designed with the actual tree in mind. Now let's do a tour of the property. Keep in mind that it's still under construction. Again, I'm roughly a month from being done. And in that month, it's going to have even more of a massive transformation visually. Alrighty, so the way the park is laid out is I have a perimeter loop for traffic. Then all back-end slips off of that main road. There are going to be 4 islands of slips in the center of that perimeter loop. Some of these are going to be pull-throughs, others are going to be back-ends. The mobile home, which my grandparents and then my parents lived in, is dead center of the property, which is really convenient. So I renovated that into a community center, office space, and a camp store. This was pretty low-key. Just a few walls came out, gave it a new coat of paint, new flooring, and now I just need to finish the furnishing, which I'm currently spending all my free time doing a little bit over time. This is going to be a space where people can come and do things like play dominoes or do a puzzle, watch whatever sports game is on, hold a potluck, or do bingo night. Then what used to be 2 bedrooms is now getting converted into an office space and what will be a camp store. Then the other half of the mobile home is actually a 1-1 living quarter for the on-site managers to be. Which, by the way, I have not settled on my manager, so if you are interested in managing a park in the hill country of Texas, let me know. Stepping outside of that and looking at what used to be my granddad's and then my dad's garage and workshop, this 2-car garage I've renovated into public restrooms on one side with a laundry room on the other. The washers and dryers are moving in this week, I believe, and then I will move in to do the cabinets and countertops for this space. Now, I am out in the country and I don't have any public sewer available, and the septic system needed for this size of project was almost an entire acre. And what worked out perfectly is at the very back of the property, there is this big drop off that wouldn't have been usable for RVs to travel down, at least without any major grading. So I just turned that into the septic area, which just means they set tanks under the ground in that area, and I can't build anything permanent on top of it. No big deal though, I just turned this area into a dog park area. I thought about doing the entire acre, but ended up downsizing slightly so that I could also incorporate a communal fire pit, and maybe even a few other things like raised garden beds. I love the idea of having a communal garden, or maybe you like reserve your bed space and then you can grow your own fruits and vegetables even though you're staying permanently in the RV. I think RVing, at least for long-termers, is about community. I've really been enjoying the idea of building things in order to help with that. I mean, being a carpenter, this place is gonna be littered with custom builds, especially seating options. You guys have seen my porch swings, definitely have some of those. The cozy picnic tables, those are always a big hit. I can nestle those into trees everywhere. I want to do a dog washing station for the dog park, a few little gazebos for larger groupings. I even like the idea of having like a fenced in area and having chickens for anybody who wants fresh eggs. I don't know about that one though. My team's trying to talk me out of it. If I lived in an RV, I would love to go interact with the chickens. My team says I shouldn't use myself as a gauge though because I'm not normal. 50 chickens! I was also required to build in 3 retention ponds, which takes up a lot of space. And my mind can't help but come up with ways to span across and then build cool things on top of them. In between the mobile and the garage, I also have an area set aside for a pool, but I don't think I'm gonna do that in year 1. Instead, I'm gonna prioritize putting a few shade canopies over some of the sites that don't have any trees. I think that's a good move. That's something about this whole project is there are so many options. So that's just one example. Do I want to put in a pool or do I want to put in a few shade canopies? At this scale, everything is expensive. I don't think it's the instance where you can, what's the expression? Buy once, cry once? You have to stair step your way up to it, I think. So I am definitely taking this mentality. I'm gonna get it open, let it start working, hopefully start working, and then I'll take whatever it earns and invest it right back into it and improve it as I go. The reason I think of that is the next step on the construction side is for them to be doing the pads. And then after that will be the roads. So massive visual transformation coming up in the next few weeks. That's really just gonna make it feel real. Then on my to-do list, I am finally able to move in and do some of the furnishing stuff. I've already shown you some of the spaces that I have to finish out and completely furnish. But then outside of that, I still have some really cool projects that I'm actually gonna be making videos of. One of those is gonna be doing the main entrance sign. I have this design in my mind, executing it. It's a very April project. It'll work. I have the dog washing station to build for the dog park. I think that'll be a really cool amenity. I'll probably build 2. Build one here at my house and build one at Pierce Oak for public use. Let's touch briefly on timeline. I actually started this project 3 years ago and it's been something that's always been happening. Aw, my dad's gonna bring me soup. He's so sweet. Where was I? There are a few factors for why it has taken so long, but that's a different conversation. The main point is this has been a constant in my life for the last 3 years, and I cannot believe I am actually finally at the tail end. It is by far the biggest and hardest endeavor I have ever tackled, which is saying something. So I am very thankful to see the finish line in sight. I'll tell you this, it has been surreal watching this property transform. With this being my family's property, I've been coming here since I was a child, and it just for the longest time, it always looked the same. After my grandparents passed, my parents retired and moved here, and by that time I had gotten into woodworking. So anytime I would come to visit, I would end up doing a project. I rebuilt the stairs to the house. My first cabinet of any sort I ever built was a double sink vanity that's now in the master bathroom. Built a picnic table for the woods, a bed swing, a windmill for my mom, a workbench for my dad's garage. Ooh, a cool custom gantry for it too. That was a cool project. Oh yeah, and mom wanted an outdoor shower, which is great for having out in the country. I mean, even the time I wanted to try my hand at chainsaw carving and mom went out and picked out a stump. Oh, but if you're worried about my parents, don't. They are both healthy and doing great. A few years ago, I ended up getting them a place closer to me. And since this place was always going to be mine anyways, we just swapped properties basically. The transformation has been a lot for them to take in, but they love rooting me on and seeing it all come together. I don't know what else to tell you guys. I feel like I could talk on this forever. So keep in mind that I will be making another video regardless after I fully open and it's 100% complete. Well, as 100% as anything is, right? So let me know if you have any topics you want me to dive into, or if you're curious about something, or if you have any questions, and then I'll address it in that next video. If you're an RVer and you would like to come to the hill country of Texas, then please consider Pierce Oak as your destination. If you're interested in following along, then be watching my next few videos, which will all be about Pierce Oak. And let me know if you have any questions about it. I'll see you soon, guys.